So there are these mutual funds that are becoming too big in size. So I would like to know from you, like if I'm a new investor or an existing investor in such kind of fund, what should I do? So should I stay or should I opt out? Like,
I think this is one of the most hot button items which you have pressed currently, and I think everyone is searching for a proper answer, and the prosperity is showing up on many schemes in the country by virtue of the growing and the bulging AUM. Now, it is to do, one part of it has to do with the regulations in the country. SEBI clearly stipulates that every fund house can have only one scheme per category.
right.
So if you have a large cap scheme, you can have only one. Previously, there were 2 or 3 large cap schemes with different names, and the AUM was getting distributed across. But now, because we have only one scheme, there is a lot of passive flow, there is a lot of other SIP inflow, and so on and so forth. So these schemes will keep getting bigger and bigger in size. The correct answer to this is the Indian market also growing commensurate to the AUM which is growing up in the schemes? So is the depth in the market growing? Clear answer is yes. So if the Indian market cap today is, let's say, around 4.5 to 5 trillion ke beech mein, if you're rolling somewhere in that market cap, this same market cap was 3 trillion, 2 trillion, 1 trillion, let's say a decade back or 15 years back, and so on and so forth, right? So the market cap is increasing. After 5 years, perhaps the 5 trillion market cap will become 10 trillion market cap, or after 7 or 10 years, it will touch that number, right? So the market cap increasing is because of two things. A, newer companies are coming in, getting listed in the market, which is increasing the overall number of, which is increasing the universe of investable companies. And B, the existing companies are going bigger in size because they are growing their profitability, their reach, their revenue, so on and so forth. So their depth is increasing. Both ways, there is expansion of the universe. So mutual fund houses have many new names to go. Small cap, market cap, just to give you an example, आज से 3-5 साल पहले जब ये क्वेश्चन आता था तो एक स्मॉल कैप स्कीम के लिए बड़ा AUM जो होता था वो 10 से 20 हज़ार करोड़ का होता था. If someone were to go and check my videos 5 years back on YouTube, you will figure out I'm calling out and saying that a small cap scheme with 20,000 crore AUM has become too large now. Too large. Right? And today a 40, 50, 60,000 crore AUM is also getting managed in small cap schemes in the country and getting managed handsomely. So the definitions have changed, the trigger points have changed. Yet, I would qualify this entire thing by saying that still AUM is a barrier. It need not be, the limits can't be absolute. These are always relative. But let's say a scheme which is managing a 1 lakh crore AUM and with a mandate, it also depends on the kind of mandate. So if the mandate is small cap alone, it is extremely difficult. Unless you go in the micro cap segment and unless you go up in the mid cap segment, it is very difficult to manage a 1 lakh crore or 80,000 crore kind of an AUM within those 250 companies, which is your 251st to 500th company, which is the mandate, right? So what is the correct way to look at it? Number one, you have to look at it, what category are you going in? If the category is large cap or flexi cap, of course, the flexi cap scope is huge. You are free to do anything and everything in the market. So the definition is very, very wide and very large. So you have enough depth, enough coverage, and you can go any kind of an AUM. You can perhaps go 1 lakh. The largest flexi cap scheme in the country is now 1,40,000 crore. Paragparikhflexicap. Are they doing well? They have slowed down considerably for last 1.5, 2 years maybe. But yet still investors are reposing their faith on them, right? You can always debate it plus and minus, right? So I'm not getting into that debate right now. But scheme is becoming a barrier for them also. Plus they're incrementally sitting on a lot of cash. So I don't know how they will deploy that cash. Deploying almost 20,000 crore of cash is humongous in this market. Humongous in this market. 20,000 crore तो AUMs नहीं है schemes के, right? तो उतना तो उनको deploy करना है cash में, which is very difficult to figure out such kind of opportunities in the market. So the answer is relative. AUM, yes, is a barrier, but you have to see the category in which the fund is operating. If the fund is operating in mid and small cap, after a point in time, the AUM will become a very large barrier. Provided कि आपका definition ही change ना हो जाए तब तक. तो my sense is SEBI will very soon change the classification also, or ideally should look at reclassifying schemes. Maybe the large cap definition expands, the small cap definition goes below 500 and extends up to 750 stocks or something like that, right? So that will keep happening as market naturally progresses. So you will keep finding the scope getting widened. As of now, nothing to fear about, but every investor needs to keep a hard watch on schemes in their existing portfolios which are crossing a particular threshold. For newer investors, I would say sincerely they have to look at it whether they really need to get into a scheme which has such big AUM.
Right.
If they can find an equally attractive scheme with equally strong and formidable performance with a lesser AUM, my choice will always be lesser AUM.
Because they have a long term to go with them.
They have a long term to go with them. They have good agility. They can move in and out of stocks
Correct.
pretty fast. They are more nimble. It's always difficult to move an elephant.
Right.
So you can pretty well tame a smaller creature.
Right.
So my sense is, if everything else is comparable and there is no dramatic difference, I would always go for a smaller AUM, especially in categories like mid and small cap.
So how can one find out whether the scheme is hitting the limit or not? Like,
as I said, there is no mathematical answer to it. I can't statistically quantify and say कि हाँ X amount of AUM पे वो ceiling hit कर गया है, right? It is also about the fund manager's capability, whether he is good enough to find opportunities in an otherwise crowded market.
Right.
But I would say, let's say in the current context, any scheme which is crossing a 1 lakh crore kind of an AUM today in the Indian market, whether be a large cap, mid cap, flexi cap, small cap, anything or nearing about that AUM, to me, I think it is too large an AUM. That's pretty large for a single scheme to manage. So that definitely requires a lot of introspection and a very tight scrutiny whether that scheme can really manage that kind of an AUM.
Right.
A small cap scheme crossing 75,000 crore again is a real check. You should check it out. Again, as I said, there's no right or wrong answer. Perhaps it could be managed at 75,000 crores also. But to my mind, in the current context with the Indian market cap where it is, I think that's a pretty large AUM to manage. So similarly, you will have to set mental limits
and what about
at each
flexi
category.
caps?
Flexi cap, as I said, any kind of scheme over a lakh crore, I think that becomes too large in the Indian market to manage, unless it's a balanced fund where you can have debt. Debt gives you extra heft to go any AUM, any scale, any size. So debt may, the larger the AUM, the better it gets.
Okay.
So debt works the opposite way. But in equity, the larger the AUM, the difficult it gets to get in and get out of companies very swiftly. So you have to always balance it. If it is a balanced fund, then maybe yes, even a lakh crore is manageable, but a pure play equity fund over a lakh crore becomes difficult in the current context.
Right. This was an absolute goldmine of information that you shared with the audience, and I think we all should go and check our own portfolios and whether they are performing or not. And thank you for being so generous with your knowledge and time. And thank you for coming on my show. And it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Rati. Thank you so much.
If this conversation added value, then hit the subscribe button and share this episode with your friends and family. Keep watching The Strategy Room by Riddhi. Thank you.